Shalom. Now, I just got asked by a sister on how I do my head covering and my profile picture, and it's so easy. And I thought, like, you know what? It really does look deceptively like fancy, but it's really easy. So, and I was like trying to figure out how to type it to her to explain, and I was like, it would just be easier to show her. So I realized, why don't I do a tutorial on all the different ways that I do my head coverings and the ways that I've figured out, and I'll show y'all. So one thing that I need, maybe not every woman, but these are extra large elastic bands. I have super thick hair. You see that? That is like crazy. But I've also noticed that like the bigger the band, then this would be like a little bit more like of a loose bun instead of like a really really tight one. And if you have like a really tight bun, you'll have this like super tiny like pointy thing with your head covering, and what you're really wanting is like more like volume, like room, you know, like that or something. So anyway, I recommend a small, thin, like cotton headband, and at least one really thick one. See the material on that? I don't even know where I got this, but I love this. This is now like my favorite one. And strangely, I don't know. I've never really thought that this look kind of was me, like, but there's times where I'm in a hurry and I just pull my head back into like a bun like this, and I'll just wear this because in my head it's like better to have some kind of thing covering my head than to just go out completely bare. So yeah. And on that note, I've heard people say that because of the 5G towers, the G-Wiz towers, that it can like have a little bit of a residual effect from, you know, like all the, we won't get into the science here, but anyway, protect your head from everything out there. This is a very thin, I call these like my silky scarves, but they're not real silk, you know, but it's like a silky material. It's very slippery. And then the rest of my scarves are just made out of like regular fabrics. I have like a whole bunch, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on these. In fact, like this one, I got it at Goodwill, and Goodwill always has like a ton of them. I was surprised. They're very cheap, and you can just wash them, hot water, soap if you like, and it's like brand new to you, you know. I like how this one kind of looks tie-dye. And what I found out was really interesting is like, okay, I started off with I think one head covering, and then a friend of mine all the way in Kentucky found out that I didn't have any head coverings, and she had way too many. So she sent me like 4 or 5 in the mail. So I instantly like, you know, quadrupled my amount of scarves. Then with a trip to Goodwill, I was able to get like more colors so that I just have like different choices that I can match with my outfit. And then it turned out that all of my family members decide to give me new head coverings. I don't do Christmas, but they still insist on buying me stuff. So they end up giving me head coverings. They give me new scarves. So I started off with like just one and being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't just keep wearing the same one with every outfit. It doesn't go. And then like it just grew, and like in the end I had all these different ones. So if you're just getting started and you don't have much to work with, you'd be surprised if you know. And that's why my motto is, where there's a will there's a way, because it'll happen if it's supposed to happen. Anyway, so they're pretty long. They come in all different shapes and sizes actually. Some of them are going to be more of like a rectangle like this. Some of them are shorter, and some of them are less wide. I think this one is more of like a squared pattern. This one's folded. This one's folded in half, so you can tell that it's actually kind of a square. But I make it into this more of a rectangle shape by folding it, because this I feel like is much easier. About this shape is much easier to work with. Okay, I'm gonna start with the head covering that she liked, and the one that she saw me. I'm gonna try and recreate that. It's so easy. So I'm gonna take my hair out. And I don't have a volumizer or a hair shaper, but I don't really need one because I've got crazy thick hair. So I didn't buy one, but some women really, really like them. I think the look you get is nice, but I just didn't. Okay, so for this look, you actually don't want much of your bun to show. So you're gonna want to just kind of like keep it like this, like almost as close to your head as possible. So you're not gonna tie your band very tight, like only probably 3 times around, because you want it to be kind of like squished flat. There's a bird in my house. What? Did that just get on the recording? I have no idea how a bird got in my house. I just saw one like fly. Okay, that was completely random and unexpected. Okay, I'll have to call my husband after this. So for this one, we're gonna have like a silky scarf. And since these tend to like slip off of my head a lot, what I ended up getting was a velvet headband. It's made out of like velvet material, and it has Velcro that would go right there. And it would kind of drive me crazy because the Velcro sometimes can grab my hair and pull on it. And then even then, sometimes it doesn't really work and it doesn't really keep this in place. It keeps it in place better than if you didn't have it, but it would still slip off and like just drive me crazy. So what you're always gonna do with all of these is you're gonna fold about that much material, and that's gonna be what frames your face, like that. That's kind of the basis of like almost every single head covering. And then from what you do from there that's different is kind of what changes the shape of it. And now if you do it like the traditional way, where you take it like this and you're gonna gather it like that and tie it in a regular knot, that's gonna be the most traditional form of a head covering. And you can either have, you know, 2 tails that hang on one side, it kind of looks like you have hair cascading over your shoulder, or you can have 1 tail on either side, kind of like a pigtail look, or you can tuck these back and tuck them in. So that's kind of like how the basics of head covering is. But what I did for my profile picture is I just tuck this in like I'm tying a shoelace, just like that. Okay, and it started to come off, and then all we do is twist it like that, and then you can kind of like adjust it to how you want. It's very easy, and you could even go from there. You can like twist this if you want. You could tighten it to see how it's like loose and it's like falling off. You could tighten it. Okay, there you go. What else you could do is actually loosen. I think in my profile picture too, I actually had left my hair down because you can see some of my hair, and that's another thing that you can do There are days where I don't like wearing this. Sometimes I don't like how much it pulls on my hair, even from under my head covering, like especially if I'm going to wear a head covering for a really long period of time. I might not want that rubber band at all. It's a little bit trickier to get your hair um, underneath a head covering without pinning it or putting it in a rubber band, but just it depends on what you're willing to put up with. So maybe you think it's worth it because you really like the outcome, you know? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I like having a little bit of my hair sticking out to feel a little bit more like feminine and girly or some such, because there are times where I'm like, hey, maybe people think I have, lost all my hair or something. Which it doesn't really matter what other people think, but, it is what it is. So all you would do is the same thing, but you would just skip that step where you are, so you could grab just your bangs and have your bangs only stick out, and then you could pull the rest back. Maybe you just want to keep that front hair to frame your face. I don't know. Everyone's different. And then you would want to just have this maybe low on your head. Just kind of try to keep it as flat as possible. And what you could do is even use something like this, because the material has a lot of friction. That would keep a lot of those like silky type scarves in place. Just something for them to kind of adhere to. So what you can do is kind of, sorry, it's hard for me to do this because it's like backwards what I'm looking at. Okay. So once again, we're going to start with the same beginning where we fold it. And I can't tell you that it's always going to be 2 inches or 4 inches or anything like that, because not every scarf is going to be the same width. But what I've found is that if you have it at least this wide, for some people out there, you want to know how wide that is. I'm going to measure it. It's about 1.5 feet, just on average. If it's longer than 1.5 feet, then what happens is it's hard to gather and separate it so that you can tie it in the back. It'll be too long in the back. So you want to kind of even it up, flip it over, line it up right here. See that? So now you've got like your hair hanging out. Okay, see how there's a hole right here? That's why you want it to be about 1.5 feet in its length, because then you can actually do this, where you can actually grab both sides. Okay? So all I've done is tie it once into a knot, just one time. And you could even tuck this behind your ear a little. You can have this showing or you could hide it. It's just so versatile, and everybody's different. Some people want to be more modest than others. You got to do with, whatever your heart's leading you to do, or, through prayer and supplication and whatever, it's just going to be different from person to person. You might even just want to wear it like this. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But to get it to be on the side, you just twist it around, right? And you gotta adjust it. That knot is gonna go around to the side. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. There you go. Anyway, what I'm trying to show is that at this stage right here, when you get it like this, when you're gonna do your second knot just like that, what you can do is bring this up like this. See how it's a loop? And you can actually, you know, kind of secure it before you pull it all the way through. And now you've got this cute little thing right here. It's very hippie style. And like I said, you can do this without this headband on. And some people's hair is gonna hold better for that kind of a look. You could even do it without a silky type style scarf. I was just trying to demonstrate the way that I had it in my profile picture. Now, another way, which this is gonna be like my most formal look that I'll do like on a really special occasion, is I'm gonna gather all of my hair together like this on and kind of do a high bun right here. Okay. And we want it really secure. In this instance, it's okay if the bun sticks up. So we want it to be like that, like your typical high bun. And now you're gonna take this, go right here, and wrap it back around. And it can be loose, okay? What we're doing is we're adding volume from here to here. Right where the bun is like pinched and almost has like a waist, we're gonna erase the waist. And then you take this and wrap it like that and like that. See that? So we took this skinny part and widened it. We made this part thicker to match the size of the top. And so what you want to do, and this one you need 2 scarves. And I like these cloth ones because they stay in place very well. Okay? So you get it like this, find the middle, hold it down about this much, and then flip it around. Bring it over and line it up right here. And then gather it in the back. Tie it one time. Like that. And that's your most basic. And we've got like this kind of like tall shape now, right? Like that. Okay? And then you'll take your other one and you can use any color combination you want. You can have fun with it and try it. And you're gonna do the same thing. Fold it like that, about 2 inches or so. What I do is I switch hands, rotate it around, which you'll get used to. And this time when you bring it, you're gonna leave a little bit of a space of the color from the first one, like that. And you're gonna still gather this one around in the back and you're gonna tie it once, but you're gonna tie it under this knot. Okay? Hopefully the chair isn't in the way and that this video is like really easy to follow. Okay, so then you're going to take your first color like this and you kind of lightly fold in these sides right here, but you still kind of, you can keep it a little bit wide, and you're going to bring it around like that. And you can bring it in front of that part, kind of have more of a turban look. and then you tuck these little fringes in. Just find something, like find a fold on the bottom where you're going to tuck it in. And then, see how we have two on this side and one on this side? We're going to grab this one from the side that had two, and it's the other color. And we're going to go back the other way. Just fold them in on the sides, keeping it wide. And you're going to want to fold it around like that. And then adjust it a little bit to your liking. It creates like a crisscross type pattern. And then tuck it in the back again. And now what you want to do with these two is there's several things. You can also crisscross them and tuck them in. Or, what's my personal favorite, is to kind of braid them like this. And just twist them. And to get them to stay twisted, I'll just take a hair tie, usually a smaller one, and I actually have some nice, pretty, like metallic-y ones, so I have like copper or gold or silver, and I kind of view it as like an accessory like you would with like jewelry. And so I will just wrap the bottom together like this. And I don't have an example with me right now, but a lot of times you can take like a really beautiful, either a hairpin or a brooch, you know, those little pins that people put on their shirts that have like a butterfly and it's all like decked out in jewels or something, and you can actually put it right here to kind of like cover it or make it look more beautiful, and it just hangs like that right by your side. So this is one of my favorite looks, but it's very formal, and I think it looks really like you're like a princess, and it makes me feel like a daughter of the Most High. And a lot of times I'll pair it with some beautiful earrings, and it's just very feminine and cute. Okay, and then I'll show you one more head covering style that I like. This is probably the newest one that I figured out, and I think it's great for like doing housework around the house. This is the problem with thick hair. You get hair ties stuck in your hair all the time. Okay. Okay. Now how am I gonna do this one? Actually, I'll show you this one you're gonna do things upside down, like the reverse of the direction that we've been learning, and that's why I kind of think of it as like really fun. And for this one, you can do a really forward bun. And it can be loose, just like that. And you're going to do the same thing, where you like fold it like that, grabbing your hands and twist around. Except, wait. Alright, that's what I'm used to doing. This one, you're going to hold the fold towards you and put the fold on the back of your neck. That. And now you gather this part's right here, and you fold it right, you tie it right here. tie it on the front of your head. See that? And you can go ahead and tie it another time and bring it around. This. And you can flip these underneath. I feel like this one is really great for doing housework around the house. It feels like all my hair is secured, and there's other ways that you can do this as well if you don't like the way it looks in the back. You just got to kind of play around with it. You could probably work this one where you loop it around this middle part and then flip it in the back. It just depends on what you're really going for. But those are my most often used head coverings, and I would say, like, if you asked me to head cover really fast, like I gotta go to the grocery store, my most plain and somewhat formal is I'll just do this, which is similar to the formal, but this is just me wanting to go outside of the house and be respectful of Torah. I'll take a regular one. I use this one a lot because it goes with everything. Like if I'm wearing this maroon color, this tan will go with it. So try to think of colors like that. When you're starting out, you want to get neutral colors so they'll go with everything. And so what I'll just do is, just keeping it nice and simple, I'll just tie it twice in the back for security, or actually just even once. I'll just tie it once in the back and let these dangle down. And this is probably how I'll go check my mail or go to the grocery store on your average day. Okay, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I hope I helped somebody learn something new today. Have a great day. I'm going to have to go ask my husband what are we going to do about the bird that I just saw in the house. Shalom.